All right.
I used to hate taking naps, dude. And now I'm old. I'm an old bitch.
Yeah, fuck that shit. Japan's making a walking Gundam.
All right.
Japan's making a Gundam and it's gonna walk.
Okay, but how wide is it?
It is 60 feet.
Wide?
Maybe it is 60 feet tall. And we're getting there. We are getting
What is that,
there.
17 meters?
We are getting close to the yes. You can get to your wide pat in a second. They're walking Gundams, dude. We're getting there, and right now they're
Should we worry?
well. Here's what's up. Right when they replaced the original RX-78 with the new Unicorn Gundam.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it's cool, it's a pretty design, but I'm like, damn, but the classics though, you know?
Isn't
And
Unicorn Gundam like supposed to be the classic, but they added it later? But it was like, no, this one was the real new one,
no,
old one.
Unicorn is it's part of the UC timeline, so it's part of the correct canon, but it's just that what they replaced it with was the first Gundam, you know. So like
Mm-hmm.
for nostalgia
Mm-hmm.
purposes, it's kind of like I don't know, getting rid of
But it did have the cool transforming like unicorn thing.
it does exactly. Yeah. So it's like replacing a statue of a classic Batman or Golden Age Superman with something much more modern, a more modern armored take
Booster
on them.
Gold.
No, same character. Same character. How about this? Yeah, it's like going to the modern Dark Knight kind of look.
Yeah.
So whatever. Analogies aside, it was like awesome to have a full sized RX-78, and then the Unicorn Gundam came in, and I saw it move and light up, and I was like, that is fancy, that is pretty, but I miss my old RX-78. And it turns out that they were actually just moving it. They were moving the Unicorn in so that in the background they could design a walking Gundam that will then be unveiled in Yokohama, and it's going to be a part of this big base where it comes out of the hangar and takes a couple steps forward, and then the hands are fully articulated and can move. And
Mm-hmm.
we're getting there. I like this progression, and I like the fact that um, there is a consistent level of Japan's budget dedicated towards like bullshit fandom as the budget for bullshit fandom is a part of the national pride, and I'm
So
like all for it. I'm all about that.
I'm
Let's
aware
go.
that there is a Gundam party. I'm not sure if they get any seats lately, but I do know that they used to get at least one seat
I didn't
in
know
their
that.
diet.
That's
Yeah, no,
wow.
it was a guy who had a Gundam party, and the platform of the Gundam party was, bitches, we need to make a Gundam.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
That was it. That was the whole fucking thing. Um, so I ask again, is this worrying?
Uh,
Should we worry about
not,
this?
not. I mean, not in the sense that like, I would be much more worried about Big Dog and what's going on at MIT. That stuff
Okay.
is on this
No, you
continent
know
and is
what?
way more advanced and way
You know
further
what?
along.
No worries about this because we don't have space colonists yet.
Well, there's that.
Which, as we know, were the problem.
There's footage of Tomino like going to check it out, and a friend of mine told me that there's a picture of him checking out the
Still
original.
alive?
Yeah, Tomino's around.
Holy shit! Good for him. He gets to see this shit.
Yeah, he there's footage of like apparently my friend told me that there's a picture of him seeing the Odaiba Gundam for the first time and just being like ah, but I've never found that. But what I did see is a picture of him visiting the current one under construction, and he's like, it's not busty enough, and quite frankly, you guys, it seems like you're just doing the same stuff from the 70s. Like, why not do something else? Why not update it a little bit, improve it? And it seems like he's like, already over the fact that his life's creation has come to into reality. He's already kind of over it. It's a bit You know, bit wild. But what else is in terms of like worrying about this whole thing? There was an article that I saw right after this one actually, which was just about someone that wrote a paper in a machine a science magazine that is basically
Hmm.
like, hey, you know how Jaegers and Pacific Rim are like these cool futuristic giant robots and shit?
I do know that. I'm aware of that.
So like the tech they use is actually behind where we're at currently, and we can do much more, and we are currently more capable um, when it comes to just like straight up what you can use to like pilot and control these things and how that would
Hmm.
work. And like I'm like, go on. And it basically goes into how like, okay, so the size and scale of them is like kind of a big ridiculous thing. Realistically, tech is going closer towards power armor and suits that will help like with medical things or helping people walk.
Exoskeleton kind of shit.
Exoskeletons, exactly. So we're getting closer to that. But the main thing was like anytime you see someone walking where it actually has to follow their footsteps or some variation of that, that's kind of
Hmm.
like you can toss that out because we have way more reliable AI based piloting of just like managing steps where it
I
can.
mean, you just mentioned Big Dog. You can kick Big Dog, and Big Dog won't fall over.
Exactly. So you wouldn't have to move your feet left, right to walk. Realistically, it can check for terrain. It can make steps intelligently. And who knows? Maybe it can even avoid stepping on cars, debris, and or people.
Well, where's the fun in the pilot having to do that manually? Like,
Well, the point is that
where's the fun in the pilot not having to do that manually? So you can yell at Camille for stepping on that bus.
the point I would say is that if you can not have to worry about that part of it, you can focus all your piloting energies at the extraterrestrial threat.
All right, so we're not. So we got the robot part down. Apparently, I missed that part. Like, I wasn't paying attention to the Earth, and then we just leapfrog past the part where the robot part was like a solved issue.
We're pretty close.
Um, the beam saber. That's not.
Hmm.
That's gonna be a bit.
No, no.
Um,
I think we're never getting beam saber.
but we
It's
we
way too
could
much
get a
energy.
pretty like slick progressive knife.
Well,
Maybe?
I think vibrating blade is where we're going.
Yeah,
I think we're going towards vibrating blade. I think
yeah.
we're going towards like superheated katana. You know, I think
Hmm.
we can go there. But at the same time, you have to consider as well, like, you know, if you want to be, do you want cool or do you want like sacrifice some cool for function?
I don't know. Certain types of like hyper functional stuff is cool in its own right.
Because to begin with, right, you have to consider how often that melee weapon would get used,
Hmm.
right? Realistically,
Are we
in
fighting? Okay, are we fighting bugs? Are we fighting other robots?
I think that's exactly where I was about to go. So I was about to go to the point where if we imagine, like, okay, well, what are the odds we're going to go melee on this? Well, the odds are going to be not very high considering you're going to be fighting long range and it's going to be about firepower more than anything. Um, Unless you specifically decide to go all in on the cool by having
Hmm.
a working functional version of that Megabots tournament where people in armored suits get into an arena and actually fight because this is the cool shit we want. Like if we
Hmm.
organize it to be for this purpose expressly, then you can go all in on the cool and go full on vibrating blades and high frequency swords and
And pile
everything
bunkers.
and pile bunkers, etc. Yes, and of course your and shotgun fists and all the good things. We can get in there with the we can get in there with the drones. We can get in there with the funnel drones that can also be like they're so organized now that you can essentially move drones around as if they were funnels and attack with those as well. We're close. It's like the pieces are all there. You just have to kind of put them together, you know? Like
Now, are you at all worried that the technology if it exists for a Gundam is around, that therefore the technology for a, I don't know, Metal Gear Rex also technically exists.
Could be, but I think Rex exists already in broken up like components, you
Yeah,
know.
they put the railguns on the boats, I think.
And there's a nuke sitting right over there in that briefcase. You know, like we've got those pieces all lined up in the little plastic. They just haven't been popped and stuck together yet, essentially. But if we're talking cool factor, I definitely think we want to go more towards that armored exoskeleton life. We want to get into that, you know, because if you're too
You want to have people that just jump really high and run super fast.
and they need to be quick, right? So if you focus on building something that is like Gundam or Jaeger sized, you're not gonna get the cool, nimble like look of like a Virtua On, you know, kind of like dashing on your feet, skating around. You know, you want that nimble, cool look. That's how the Super Futuresport would take off. Have you seen like drone racing? I mean,
I've not. I've played drone racing in Judgment actually, and I have seen it.
Futuresport is
it's
coming.
Goofy.
Futuresport is coming. Like the
Man.
real footage of actual drone racing where they have these like Tron lit up dark arenas with like giant like neon hoops to fly through and rings to fly through and little courses to race each other with. It's insane. And then like they cut to the first person view and they're moving like lightning quick. Like we're getting there. We're absolutely getting there.
I just want athletes to cut their legs off so they can slap on like robot legs.
Okay, but
man.
instead what I'm proposing is you retire the bit so that we can put the athlete in exo armor where he can move this just as fast with that
I don't
augmentation.
care about the status of an athlete's legs.
Yeah, I know, but that's why it's like it's so tired. It's such a tired bit that I'm like, nah,
It's not a bit to me.
put them in the robot, and now we have Futuresport. IGPX, sure, whatever
You know
it is,
what?
man.
You know what I would actually really like? Like robots, entire robots, like whatever big, like human-shaped big dog equivalent, or whatever that robot is that they fucking keep knocking down over that university,
Mm-hmm.
right? The human-shaped one.
MIT
Just
big
get
dog.
that, yeah, get that to superhuman power, but it's still like, you know, a moronic robot, and have those play against like smart but like physically inferior humans. Right? Like
Sure.
a football game between super tough robots and smart but skilled humans.
I want to make sure that like it's just if we could get a number of like we need to take that same passion that Japan has for like let's make this walking robot, let's update it, let's go with the Gundam thing, let's keep doing it, and basically go towards like, hey, what if we actually tried to create the sport from Battle Angel Alita, you know? What if we actually invested in basically cyber roller derby? Very plausible. We can go this. We are again. It's things we can do. We can actually get motorball happening if we get. You need a ring. You need an audience. You need like a kind of. You need a track. You need a ball. We can do it. These are all existing pieces. We don't have to create any sort of tech that doesn't currently exist to get there. You know.
I'm trying to think, because you're describing like, what if we use technology to create nonsensical fantasy sports? And my brain is like, what likelihood is there that we could make a Windjammers-esque pro-bending
Okay.
variant? And I'm
Pro-
like, I don't know if that's possible, because that just sounds like slapping flamethrowers and water hoses to people.
Pro bending, I don't think. but Windjammers slash the version of Pong they play in Reboot, where they have the reflectors on their hands and knees, and then they kind of like knock the ball off the wall. Could be done. How would the disc stay?
You can use magnets or some shit. There's all sorts of crazy fucking shit now.
I'm wondering if it would have to be like virtual, you know, because I don't know what kind of physical disc would hit the walls and come back with the right trajectory in the exact same way. It might have to be VR. We could make it. We can go with a VR version of it, and then you just you're in a big empty room, but like the audience can see everything looking pretty sick. Track the hands hit the ball, and then you can just become a virtual athlete in that regard. But if they create like a VR headset that can withstand the rigors of like crazy high activity sport, you can create any sport you want. You can do anything, because it's just reacting to your body, and as long as you can fall on your head and not break the headset, we can go in any direction. I like that concept. That could go places too. That could go places.
All right, I got another one for you. Get the RX-78 walking, right? And have one of those against one regular football team in a game of football.
Is that another one, or is that just the same one again?
Just tape a football to its foot.
Why did you say another one if what you really meant was the same one again?
I want to see a bunch of useless people fight a robot.
You want to see people die. Got it. Okay. Well, okay. Anyway.
Listen, once we're all stuck inside from COVID, the sequel,
we've deconstructed
and the robots are roaming the streets, we're going to need something to entertain us.
Who put this horse skeleton down here? I didn't do it.
Hey, wait a second. I just thought of something really cool. If the exoskeletons get advanced enough with servos, could you just attach those things to skeletons?
You could do anything.
And you could motorize a bunch of skeletons.
I don't see.
They wouldn't need to be like the same.
What would this accomplish?
This would. Mean
why am I asking the question? That's furthering. I'm yes-anding. I'm not yes-anding.
Yeah, dude. You could have motorized like skeleton teams.
Sure.
Doing sports automatically.
But you still need a person piloting it to move. You can decal it however you want.
Make an AI. Call him Bones Jackson.
Look, if someone agrees and signs a waiver that says, upon my death, you may use my bones to decorate your mech, then you can do whatever you want with those bones. But you still need someone in it.
Yeah.
So
and we can grow freak mutants in a tube.
Again, as long as you get the person's consent before they pass, then by all means.
Man, that Mutant League cartoon went so fucking far out of its way to show that they didn't die; they just got horribly maimed. You put them in the tube, and then they heal all their arms and legs come back. It's crazy.
I guess the moral of the story is that there's a lot of existing tech that just needs to be combined to bring us the future, and you don't even realize it.